Hello, students. It's time for your hug. Come on, give yourself a hug. Hands around yourself. Give yourself a big squeeze. Say, I love ya. Come on, I love ya. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're trying your best. You're trying your best. Very good. Always remember to hug yourself every day. Unless, of course, you have somebody who's hugging you all the time and you feel that you don't need to. But even still, it's a good habit to get into. You know why? Because sometimes there won't be anybody there to hug you. And if you're used to giving yourself a hug, just a big squeeze, big pat on the back, it will help you in the times when you feel alone and you feel down and you feel like there's nobody around. Well, you are there. You are essentially your best friend because you're always going to be there for yourself, right? Right. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Who here got some exercise today? Raise up your hand. Okay. Did you get some fresh air? So important, right? Get away from your computer, get some fresh air. All right. What else? Did you do some stretching? Stretching is good. Always do some stretching. Did you do a handstand or any kind of cartwheel, things like that? If you can, try to do that. Remember what it's like to be young and maintain that. I do one handstand every day just to make sure that I don't forget how to. Nothing special, not in the middle of the room or anything, but just against a wall. I just throw myself against a wall and just stay there for a little while. That's it. Okay? So I'm really proud of everybody who's trying to be vegan. And today we are going to be watching a video, not by this lady here, because actually it turns out she's not that nice. And what I would rather do is draw attention to a vegan who is actually nice and who is somebody who has spoken out on behalf of the horses. This person here, RaleighLink14, I don't understand why she is attacking animal rights activists. She says she cares about horses, but yet she promotes riding them and putting bits in their mouths and basically exploiting them. And that's not what it means to be vegan. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this video here, which only sadly has not even 3,000 views. And I would like a lot more people to watch it because this is about Ren Hurst. Ren Hurst, who is a vegan animal rights activist and who cares deeply about horses. So let's watch it together. Remember, you can take some notes if you want to. Not going to be really be a report card today, but sometimes it's fun to take notes. Make sure that you're paying attention.
The mission of the sanctuary we've created is to advance the healing of the planet through unconditional love and action and equality for all living beings. My personal mission is to raise consciousness and inspire love through my relationships with animals.
Aww.
For me, the way I spent time with horses, especially as a professional, was all about power and control and having an agenda and trying to get something accomplished. Obviously, I wanted a connection, but I didn't really think about connection when I first started spending time with horses and other animals. It was more like using them to feel safe and have a source of unconditional love. When Shay came into my life, I had committed to trying this different way of approaching him, and it wasn't worded as relationship necessarily or connection. It was more like just we're gonna try this different way of being without control and earn this truly authentic relationship together where a horse just chooses to do things with you simply because you've built a foundation and you've asked and they say yes. The desire to ride leaves you when it's time to quit riding. Do I think everyone's ready for it? Absolutely not, and that's totally okay. This is for the people who resonate with what I'm saying. Every single time I fail at this and an animal doesn't connect with me or chooses to walk away from me or even gets aggressive towards me because I've tried to place an expectation, or when I'm interacting with people that I love and completely forget what it is that I do with the animals differently that works. And then I'm like, wow, I know how to do this differently. I really do know how to love better than this. Why am I not doing it? And so that's always a humbling experience. For the most part, I'm learning right alongside the rest of humanity on what it means to love unconditionally in action and not just feeling. And so every day I have 35 animals to look at, and I can choose to judge myself and see everything I did wrong in my past, or I can look at it as an opportunity. What I'd most like people to understand about this work is that even though it seems very scary and hard, what is on the other side of this is this profound sense of well-being that you can tap into at any time, no matter what your circumstances are. Ideally, our place would be a very safe space for people to come and practice the true nature of love in action with a little bit of guidance, because we're not much further ahead than anybody else, but with totally being embraced by people who are going to look right through your messiness and see the essence of who you really are and give you a way to move out of it. Oh my gosh, the animals humble me every day. All I'm trying to do is the best I can with what I know while I'm here. And because of this work, you really learn how to let go and release attachment to things and release expectations and release agenda. We can create a world that's worth staying in. I wanted to just get it out of me. I wanted that story to get out of me. That was my personal reason. But for putting it out in the world, there were two reasons. One was to ask for help. Like, what do I do with this? If you resonate and you can help me, please come find me. And that happened. And then the other one was to give permission to everyone that felt the same way to stand in their truth. Messages are flooding in from all over the world saying your story's just like mine. Thank you so much for saying what you did, because now I don't feel crazy, and now I feel like I can share my story and I can point them back to you and blame you and whatever. And it's like, I had no idea so many people were out there that felt this exact same way. Well, I'd already given up everything, so I had nothing to lose.
Wow. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? I know somebody who went to meet her, somebody who lives close to me, who said she was a wonderful person. And I have this book. I have it in an ebook format. I don't have a hard copy. And it's called Riding on the Power of Others, if you're ever interested in buying it. A Horsewoman's Path to Unconditional Love. Just want to see if there's anything more here. Let's just have a look. So you can visit newworldsanctuary.org. I guess these are the names of all of her horses. It's a pretty song, isn't it? So essentially what I learned today is that what I like about Ren Hurst is that she talks about basically not using horses, not riding them, that animals are here with us and not for us. And she believes in earning trust. I'm looking at my notes. To earn trust and to love better. And she says that the animals humble her. Has that ever happened to you? that you look at animals in nature and they just humble you. You're just in awe of how simple life can be. They don't have any objects, and they're so curious. Do you ever look at a forest and sometimes you think, well, all the trees are the same, it's just a bunch of trees, and then you look at animals and they're just like looking around everywhere, and to them every tree is like so different, and every little plant, and the next few steps are a giant mystery. And they really know how to live in the moment. In that sense, I too am humbled by animals. And I like what Ren Hurst stands for. I would like to meet her one day. Doesn't she seem like she'd be a nice person to meet? It's too bad that this other equestrian person, I'll say other, but it's not really an other, that Raleigh felt the need to attack Ren Hurst. And in fact, in one of her videos, she really doesn't understand what Ren Hurst is saying. She makes fun of her as if she doesn't believe in science, but that's not what she's saying. She's saying that she doesn't believe in studies that are funded by people or organizations who have a vested interest in the outcome. So it's a shame because they both care deeply about horses, and apparently Raleigh, I don't know what her real name is also vegan, or she calls herself vegan. But true vegans don't ride horses. They don't use animals. They don't take their eggs. They don't take their milk. They don't take their fur. They don't take their flesh. So this is a difference. And it's a shame that they can't get along, because in reality, they have 99% of the same beliefs. I mean, just the fact that even she declares herself as vegan, Raleigh, means she's already gone through a lot of the steps. So it's just this final step at the end. Like, should you ride horses? Make money by giving horseback riding lessons? Should you put a metal bit into a horse's mouth? Should you train horses from a young age and break their spirits by making them go round and round in circles on a leash until they become dizzy and tired of it, and then you break them? Treat them like slaves. It's bizarre how one person can look at horses in a way that really humbles them, and another person can look at it in a way that makes them think that this animal could be a slave for them, could be a way to earn money. So that's all I have to say today. I wanted to present to you both of them. I didn't want to spend too much time on Raleigh because I don't want to draw attention to somebody who is, in my view, not really vegan. So, but you can have a look for yourself if you want and decide for yourself. So thank you for being here today, everyone. Don't forget that, I have to remind you to subscribe, and I lost my little paper, my little card. I did some cleaning up here on my desk, and now I don't have it. But I think you remember my little card that I was holding up. Wow, that's frustrating. Anyways, it's around here somewhere. Pretend I'm holding it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. Press the little button so we can hang out together. I can get to know you. You can get to know me. And if you have a question or a comment, you can write it down. For those of you who are saying that I am censoring your comments, I'm not censoring you. I'm not censoring you at all. You can write whatever you want on your own videos. You can create your own videos. You can talk about this video. The comments that are being censored are simply the ones where there are meat emojis, where people are deliberately just trying to spam or to write lies that are not true. You can go ahead and write your lies on your own channels. Here, I would prefer if you asked questions, or if you shared stories, your experiences of riding horses, if you did and you stopped. I mentioned already in other videos that when I was 9 years old and I was in Germany visiting my grandparents, that I was given some horseback riding lessons, and I learned that horses don't really want us on their backs. I felt it, and I just knew that this horse was not my slave. I had no right to try to control an animal like that. So I resonate with what Ren is saying. And I think if you all think back to the different animals in your lives that you've been with, and if you really, really sit with them, and you know when you've pushed your animal to your animal, I say your animal, but we know they're just companion animals, or any animal, you know when you've pushed an animal to do something that they didn't really want to do. And of course, if we're talking about dogs that we have saved from being killed because they were in like the SPCA or places like that, and we are forced to put them on leashes because that's the law, what can we do, right? We don't really want to put a leash on a horse. I mean, I'm sorry, did I say horse? I mean a dog. If we adopt a dog, we don't really want to put leashes on them. We want to open our front doors and let them run around, but it doesn't work that way, right? And we can understand why. We don't want them to get hit by a car, and we don't want them to go and chase the neighborhood cats and scare them. But I think you know what I mean. Sometimes you see people sort of dragging their dogs around, or even in videos, making them do tricks and things like that look dangerous, or that you think to yourself, wow, I don't know if you should be training your dog to that extent. You know, sometimes I've seen videos even on TikTok where like a police officer was hitting the dog to try to make the dog do something. And you know, when we start putting dogs in positions of trying to see for the blind, or to defend, you know, to work in airports, or to be there with police officers, or we start putting police officers on the back of horses, all of these things, it's all not okay. We need to stop being speciesists. And I know it's like asking society to completely turn around, but it's about respecting animals and realizing that this is their planet too, and we have just invaded it like a virus, and just taken everything, destroyed the oceans and the waters and the waterways, and by planting all kinds of crazy crops that we feed to chickens, cows, and pigs instead of to us directly. We've raped the land essentially, and we need to just take a step back and be humbled, and to think of ourselves as being in the cages, and let the animals free. So in other words, the animals should be able to walk freely around the globe, and to be able to cross highways, and we should not have to be the ones to push everything in nature out of the way, and to take these horses out of the wild and say, now you are here, and now I'm your boss, and you are my slave, and I will ride you, and I will make money from you, and things like that. So all things to think about. Another hug? You need a hug? I can't be there to hug all of you, but I want to thank everybody who's here listening and trying to hang out and learn something. I'm learning all the time. If you have any really interesting videos that you think I should look at, send them to me. Give yourself a hug. Say, I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. I love you. I love you. Say it to yourself every day, because you deserve love. If you don't have enough in your life, it's not your fault. You deserve love. You know that if you're trying your best or not, and you know if you need to give yourself a good kick in the bum. You know yourself. Thanks for being vegan, everybody. Go out there, spread some love, learn something, get away from your computer for a while. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.